Vayomer Hashem el Moshe. The Lord spoke to Moshe. Psalacha shnei luchot avanim karishonim. Hew 2 tablets of stone like the first. V'chatavti al haluchot et hadvarim asher hayu al haluchot harishonim asher shibarta. And I will write upon the tablets the words that were on the first tablets, which you broke. Rav Halivni questions why here, and 3 verses later, where we read, Vayvsol shnei luchot avanim karishonim, and he, Moshe, hewed 2 tablets of stone like the first, repeated again in Devarim. Rav Halivni asks, why does the Torah repeat that these tablets were karishonim, like the first ones? After the sin of the Egel HaZahav, couldn't God have decided to make some changes in those 10 commandments? Once circumstances changed with the people, everything might have been different. This question carries with it profound relevance, not only to our understanding of the text, but as well to the times in which we live, to human nature, to Jewish survival, and to Rav Halivni's personal biography. In his brief commentary on the multiple repetitions of Karishonim, Rav Halivni notes that societal and historical change notwithstanding, in his words, there is a power in the continuation of the original. In other words, new and improved has limited standing where sacred texts and tradition is concerned. Even though I am not an American, the frequent references in the US to originalism in law intrigue me. Originalists strive to preserve the interpretation of laws as they were understood at the time that they were formulated, and object to their being reinterpreted to conform to modern-day sensibilities. Whereas many of us are sympathetic towards and supportive of changes in civil law in keeping with contemporary social sensitivities to previously disadvantaged communities, and changes that reflect new understandings of science, medicine, and advanced technologies, it behooves us to hold on to Karishonim in the realm of the sacred. In my pulpit rabbinic career, I noted considerable resistance among congregants to new melodies, to traditional prayers when introduced by the Chazan. No matter how beautiful the new tune may have been, no matter how objectively unexciting the classical melodies which they had heard and sung for a lifetime were, it was clear that this is nicht was der Public wilt. This was not what the people wanted. They wanted Karishonim, the old, tried and true versions, and no substitute would satisfy them. I remember once comforting a chazan who was disappointed that the congregation was unhappy with some of his new melodies, the classical tefillot. Can you imagine, I asked him, were one to introduce in an Ashkenazi congregation a new melody to Kol Nidre? How would that go over? He got the message, understanding that sometimes it is the familiar, the old, that brings people back year in and year out. It is the connection to past that reinvigorates the soul. The classical words of comfort to a mourner in a Jewish tradition setting are reflective of Karishonim, of finding strength and comfort in reaching back to our ancient past. We say to mourners upon their exiting the cemetery and at the house of Shiva, Hamakom Yenachem Etchem, may God comfort you. Betoch Shara V'Leit Sion V'Yerushalayim, among the remnant of those who mourned over the destruction of Zion and Jerusalem. Seemingly based on the Mishnah in Midot, Hashochein B'Bayit Hazeh Yinachameka, he who dwells in this house, the Beit HaMikdash, will comfort you. Today's sufferer best finds consolation through connection to our earliest days, to our primary national memories. Finally, to Rav Halivni himself. When awarded the Bialik Prize in 1985, and in his acceptance speech, he spoke of his Aunt Ethel, who called out to him as he was being separated from his family forever, telling him, Die Torah, was du hast sich auf ahir azoi geflocht. The Torah over which you have labored so diligently, soll auf dir Magen sein. It will protect you. I'm that boy, Rav Halivni commented, and it was the Torah that watched over me from one death camp to another. It is that Torah that still watches over me today. Yes, it is the connection, Karishonim, to our earliest past, to the pages of Torah, to the practices of tradition that have sustained us through a myriad of trial and challenge. There is a power in the continuation of the original, because that's why we are still here today.